Hello everyone, this is Shauna Benson from OCALI's Teaching Diverse Learners Center, and I'm here today to share another how-to strategies and tips video. Today the focus is going to be on adapting books to make sure that they're a little bit more accessible for students who have maybe some fine motor challenges that may need a little bit of page fluffing. So today is focused specifically on adding page fluffers to books, and I'm going to share some examples and show a little bit of variety on how you can also adapt books in your own classroom. So I'm going to kind of go through a series. We'll start off with some super simple adaptations that I know that everybody can reproduce in their classroom, and we'll talk about the reasons why each adaptation is necessary, possibly for a different type of learner. All right, so the first strategy that I'll share is one way to add page fluffing to a book. So let's say we have a book such as this one about insects, and we wanted to make sure that students who may not have the dexterity to actually pick up each page and turn the page would have a little bit of a handle that we want them to have on a side. Now, I'm going to share some examples. There are so many others that I didn't pick to share today, but I just wanted to make sure that you got to see a few and actually see how they would be added into the book. So in this case, I just took these little clips, just the little squeeze clips, and I had a series of them. There are only a few pages to this book, so I didn't need very many. I added the first one to the bottom corner of the book, and when I flip the page, I'm going to add the second one in a little bit higher position. And then you can kind of see that I variegated that as the pages went on. I added the clip that was just a little bit higher and a little bit higher. So part of the reason for that, where you're kind of variegating the starting point, as the students using this, I'm going to kind of turn this way a little bit. As the students using it, it's a possibility that they may use a scooping motion to turn the page, and you want them to be able to just kind of scoop up to the clip and be able to kind of grab it and then move it forward in the pages. So this is kind of why you do that variegated approach. All right, another way to add fluffing, you can kind of see in the profile the little lift that it gives to each of the pages. That's really what we're aiming for here. Let's talk about other tools and materials that you could potentially use to fluff. So another example is in this Math Chicka Chicka book. You can also see there's a variegated approach here. The page fluffers that I chose to use in this book are actually little felt pads that are intended for furniture. They have a sticky back on them. They come in all different sizes, super tiny to larger. And so just stuck one of those on every one of the pages. Now, one of the companion tools that's going to be helpful for some students along with the page fluffers could potentially be a handheld or like a banded page turner that has almost like a prong that comes out. You'll see a picture of this on the screen. So it kind of goes around the palm of the hand, and there's that almost thumb-like attachment that comes out. It's perfect for going in between the pages and actually allowing the student to give a little lift where those pages are separated apart. So those are also really handy to have. I'm sorry I don't have one here to show you today, but certainly those are available for purchase as well. Some other things that you could potentially use, weather stripping. I know that sounds really crazy, but weather stripping is pretty inexpensive, and it adds a nice little lift. It has a pretty deep set, almost probably 1/2 inch to 1 inch cushion. It has the sticky back already on it. You could also use that for your page fluffing. If you wanted something that was a little bit, we could do permanent or temporary with the foam core. So you would just cut out a little corner of your foam core, little segment, and you could attach this either with hot glue into your book if you wanted it permanent, or if you wanted it temporary, you possibly could use something like a paper clip that's going to poke through and actually attach to the page. So that'll give you a little bit of lift and page fluffing also. You can add, this book has actually Velcro dots. So again, Velcro dots have a smaller profile of a lift, so somebody who may not need a ton of lift to get underneath it. And in this case, I'm going to show you a couple of examples where we've used Velcro and we've kept the Velcro in the same location in the book rather than that variegated. Sometimes, if the book is a little bit larger, more chapter-like, the profile gets kind of wonky when you add the Velcro all in the same place. a lot of this is determined by where you place it, is determined by the students who are using it, the book potentially, and where they need to access from. And if they need that variegated approach or single page, they can do either or. Okay. Another idea for the page lifter fluffers is using magnetic paper clips. And in this case, a little bit less of a profile, but you also have an added tool. So when you use the paper clip, typically you're going to have a magnetic source with it to also help you with the page turn. And so then the paper clips help with the page turning as well. Some of these, if the magnets are too strong, you can vary or adjust the size of the magnetism or adjust the size of your paper clip also. Or again, you can variegate so you're not picking up multiple pages at once. But that can help students turn pages as well. And it gives a little bit less of a profile. And then the least amount, so if you want your book to remain pretty similar, and this actually has two purposes, so just page fluffing partly. This also has switch access to a voice output switch that helps tell the story. But you can also add in fluffers that are pretty small, low profile, like adding a little stack of sticky notes or something like that if you don't want quite the depth between the pages. You don't want it to be quite as noticeable. These actually also have a different function if you are using a voice output switch for storytelling. When you plug this in, this actually becomes the push button so that the student can actually hear the story. So plays the page by page for the story as well. So has dual function or dual purpose. And likewise, with the Junie B. Jones book, not only are these page fluffers there for actually turning the page, but they're also the push button. When we plug this in, the step-by-step, or in this case, the Big Talk Triple Play has books recorded. There are levels in this device. So there are multiple pages, or you can record chapters. Like in Junie B. Jones, there are chapters within that book. You can record chapters in the book, and each chapter, page by page, you would just touch on the little Velcro dot, and it would play a page of that book. I can share an example here. Okay. Now we're showing. So I have both covers on the front. I wasn't sure exactly which page we would, or which book we would show. So I'm just going to turn the device on. I have it set on level 3 because it's chapter 3 of the book.
Chapter 3, being
very
a grown-up
sensitive
lady. At dinner time, I told Daddy about what happened on the playground, and guess what? He said the same dumb thing as Mother. You're way too young to have a boyfriend, Junie B., he said. It's nice to have Ricardo as a friend, but look.
All right, so I'm going to stop that there. If you would push it again on the Velcro dot, the page lifter, it's also going to then play the next page within that chapter as well. And the same is recorded with the remainder of one book. In that case, instead of pressing the Velcro, you would press the yellow square or rectangle in this case. And both of these books are adapted using a mini PAL pad switch that is either taped or affixed in the back portion of the book. And they're super sensitive, as you saw. There was quite a light touch that was required. There are other tools as well, other types of switches that you can also use in addition to the PAL pad. There are some flexible membrane switches, there are twitch switches, and then the PAL pad switch does come also in multiple sizes. So even though we were talking about page fluffers, we also got a chance to see how page fluffers can sometimes serve dual purposes too. So I hope that this is helpful and that you have some tools in your toolbox to adapt some books in your own classroom if you have learners who need those page fluffers. Thanks for watching today, and we'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.